So they put more weight on it. That doesn't even look like pressure treated wood they're using up there, but I don't know if it has to be or not. That's definitely not pressure treated up there, is it? That's not. That's just white wood or framing wood, but I guess it's gonna be inside. So yeah. So they did not. Now why in the world? Why in the world would they do that, man? I mean, if it was 16 foot to the top, I could, or more than 16 foot to the top, I could see that. But what I can't see is you're gonna cut a 12-foot board. It looks like about a, it looks like a, I don't know. It looks like that piece is what they cut off the top of it. And why not just shimmy it on down to the ground? I don't know. I don't really. And then even over there, look how they got it all fastened to the building there. You know, I don't know, man. I don't particularly agree with this right here. And the other one is above the ground too. Are they gonna backfill all that? Well, if they do, that still doesn't put anything under it. That's, you know, I don't know, y'all, but. Okay, y'all. Good morning, Ray Landscaping, Lawn Care, whatever you want to call it. Y'all know what it is, man. I want to thank all the subscribers for watching and commenting and all that. I got a lot of video that I have not edited. I haven't had time to do a lot of editing. Because I've been, you know, I'm setting up for this little drainage job. I'm setting up for maybe buying another piece of equipment. I am, you know, doing things in the business. And I hate to say it like this, but the business pays more than YouTube. So it's, you know, I have to, you know, grow and evolve and be thinking about what I'm doing as we go into the season. And it doesn't matter really how long you've been doing this type of work. I've been doing this a long time, and you know, I'm still having to go through the trials and tribulations of getting started for the season and making sure that we have enough work and we have enough minimal expenses. You know, it doesn't matter really how much work you got or how much money you're making if it costs you a lot to run, right? You know, that's my channel is really, you know, talks a lot about that. A lot of guys used to come at me, and I think that they either the haters done found somebody else to hate on or whatever, or they're watching and they're not, you know, commenting. I'm grateful too, you know. I mean, you know, hate what make the world go round. But I haven't been able, I got a lot of footage. I got footage of the French drain site. And after I went over there and met with the owner, we could literally do that without a Mini X. We really could. But I'm not. I mean, I'm going to rent one because, well, I'm trying to you know, get my feet wet a little bit, right? So, you know, I want to be able to do some stuff around the house too. So by now, you guys have seen that I got the gutters on the building. Yesterday, I went and got 4.5 yards of gravel. Some of it for here and some of it for that job. Well, most of it for that job, you know. Going and getting the gravel and all and having it on standby sitting on a dump trailer right here where all I gotta do is hook up and go to and take it over to dude's house. That's you know, well, that's an hour. I mean, easy for me to, it saves an hour. Like if I get off work one day this week, you know,
then I can run this gravel out there to his house, no problem. I can pull up and I'm in control of everything. I'm not hoping the yard's got some. I'm not hoping there's a 35-minute wait to get it. I'm not, you know, none of that stuff. Pull up, drop the lawn trailer, hook to the the dump trailer, and pull that gravel over to his house, and then just leave the dump trailer there. There's a bunch of different ways we can do that. I can have Zach, follow me over there, and then me and him go cut grass from there. But we're not even going to be on that side of town this week. But I got a lot of footage I just haven't went through, man, because I don't know, man. By the time I'm getting in and getting things situated, and I just don't feel like fooling with it, man. I've been doing a lot of research on drainage systems and French drains and water runoff and downspout runoff and solid pipe versus pipes with holes in it versus black fabric or not. I mean, it's all over the place. But there are a couple of basic things that don't change, right? The number one thing that don't change is water runs downhill. Some people swear by the fabric. Others people don't, My thinking is, well, I don't really know, but there's a lot of, different things out there. One of them supports the fabric, the other one don't. But for his particular job, he may need to go with fabric because he wants to put grass down. He wants to put sod down. I got a job that I'm going to go over here. I got a mowing job I'm going to go over here and do. Let me make sure I got my sprayer with me. I am loving the sprayer, the handheld sprayer from Milwaukee. The biggest reason why I like it is, well, it's light, it's compact, it's strong, and I already have the battery format. I got M12 and M18 stuff, everything I got. I got DeWalt stuff too, and I can't really say nothing bad about DeWalt, dude, because I gotta say the DeWalt batteries have lasted for years, and there's no sign of them going down. The Milwaukee batteries, they haven't lasted as long, but it's a little bit skewed because I have been using the Milwaukee stuff a lot more hardcore, like trimming trees and stuff. So yeah, so I've been looking, just educating myself on Mini X's and stuff, and they got a mini. There's a guy that is over here. I don't know. It's probably about 15 miles from here. He's got one, and it's a small one, and he wants $9 grand for it. Again, I don't, I mean, if you buy and it's a Kubota, it ain't no, I mean, it's probably it's gotta be their smallest Mini X. It's gotta be. I think he said it was a 2015. I think he said it has 1,000 hours on it. It's on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, and essentially what I'd be doing, if you want to really look at it, is I would be basically trading the Ferris for a Mini X. He's got $9 grand or best offer. That tells me that well, it's probably been used pretty hardcore, but I'm not sure if it's a diesel engine on it or not. But usually the smaller the engine on it, well, of course, the smaller the engine on it, the less power it has. That's obvious. And the smaller the engine on it, the less hours you could probably get on it. But the smaller the engine is on it, the easier it is probably to replace, financially, wise, as far as, the engine goes. I mean, you get into some of these big these big diesel, you know, not big, but like the Bobcat, it's like 66 horsepower Kubota diesel. Well, to replace that engine, man, it would not be a labor of love. You can believe that. I don't know what kind of tools they got or what. I don't even know how the hell they get the engine in there. I mean, you would have to spend you would have to spend a lot of time with a lot of specialty tools to be able to pull the engine out. It just, you know, but on a Mini X with a little bitty engine on it, it might be easier. I don't know. It certainly won't be as heavy. But a Mini X that small, where it's, you know, 12 horsepower or whatever, I don't even think this one was 12 horsepower. That's just too small. Now, if I had a specific line of work I was going to get into, and I knew that I had, you know, $9,000 or $10,000 worth of work lined up, then it would probably be worth that. Or if I'm more educated on what these machines can and can't do. Well, here I am talking about buying or investing in a Mini X, and I've never even ran one. That don't sound smart, does it? It doesn't. But see, I know that he who owns the equipment runs shit, right? And sometimes you have to take a calculated gamble, but it's got to be a calculated gamble. It can't just be, you know. I don't think, and you never know, but I don't think that you're gonna see me jump out there and buy a new excavator. From a business standpoint, just if you're on the outside looking in, or if you're me on the inside looking out, and you're brutally honest with yourself, right now would not be a good time to buy a Mini X. It just wouldn't, unless you can find just a great deal, you know. What kind of sense would it make for me to buy a Mini X right now, you know, and then not have time to really run it or nothing, and because I got to cut all this grass. The lawns are what we have to do right now. That just seems like a little risky, you know. Well, it doesn't seem like a smart move, because every payment that I make, I'm gonna, you know, I'm not making no money with the machine. Okay, guys. So y'all see, look, y'all see the weeds in these beds? I mean, dude, I'm gonna walk around the house. We're gonna do a circle around the house. Yeah, but this ain't. Oh man. So the deal that I have with him is we do not weed eat the beds, right? Yeah. Because he doesn't want to pay for that, okay? And, you know, and this yard, to me, and, you know, it's super busy. Look at all this weedy stuff, man. So he usually sprays, but he has not been able to get out here and spray, he says. His wife passed away last year, and she was the one that kind of liked to have all this stuff. And he used to get out here and do all this. But, you know, to have to pay somebody to manicure and keep all this stuff neat and stuff, it ain't worth it if you ask me. If I was him, I'd pull all this shit out of here and I'd put grass here. Because, I mean, look, I mean, you're not going to be able to pay nobody to come in here and pull weeds out from around here. They're going to want a fortune, you know, everywhere. So obviously, if you spray, you can't spray this stuff, right? You know, I mean, and this is just one side of the house, y'all. Look,
See, if I was him, I'd say, Ray, and you can see the water comes flying down that hill, and water just is all up in here. I mean, I'm surprised you don't have water in. I mean, it looks like water just flies right down through here. And that's just the one side. It doesn't have to be this busy. Pull all these bushes out, right? He could get his grandson over here to pull all these bushes out with a truck and just snatch it and throw them in the woods, and then try to get some grass in here. You know, maybe leave that, maybe. You know, something that's easy to maintain. But all these flowers and stuff, he's here by himself. And he's like 80 years old. And he doesn't want to pay. I don't know if he's got money or not, but, you know, he doesn't want to pay what it would take to make this look nice. And it's a lot, y'all. Y'all remember we did the crepe myrtles over here. He said he hopes all the crepe myrtles die. That's what he said. So y'all can see where we murdered them last year. But that's what he insisted that we do that. Right, but see, look at this bed. Look how busy everything is. And see, by the fact that he's spraying in here, you know, you're going to get blow off on other stuff, right? I mean, they went as far as to have these lines in. I mean, all this shit right here is just unnecessary to me. If you're 80 years old and you don't want to pay somebody to maintain it, I mean, it looks like shit, man. And see, if he would, you know, I don't know what it would cost to, but I'd rip all this shit out and I'd throw some grass seed in here, all the way up to the sidewalk. So let's continue on. So, you know, I'm gonna spray, but I mean, dude, you need 10 gallons of spray over here. I never would have thought it'd been this bad. I don't know why, but see, last year was the first year I'd done this property, and he sprayed. Let's see, look, I mean, this might as well be grass. I mean, you know. I mean, dude, it's just terrible. But this is what happens when as you get older, and you know, some of the customers get older. They don't want to, or they physically can't come out here and do all this, but they got money. He ain't hurting. He's driving a freaking 2022 Denali pickup truck, and his wife passed away, and there's a BMW, probably a 2019 or so, or 20 BMW. I don't know what it is, but it's nice. It's a coupe in the garage. So, you know, he ain't hurting, you know, but he don't want to spend. I mean, to get somebody to come here and pull all these weeds up, yeah, he ain't wanting to spend money for that. You need, for a yard like this, you need a freaking gardener, and you need somebody to do mulch. He don't want to do mulch. He said the mulch just doesn't, he doesn't like it because, well, the weeds end up growing through it. And you got, I mean, it's just terrible, man. Now, I know, you know, he lost his wife, and that's sad, but it was like this before she passed away. And so, you know, only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with a sprayer, and I'm going to spray, you know, just what he wants. And try not to get nothing on the, but you mean, you got volunteers. You just got crappy trees coming up. You know, it's just so freaking busy, man. High maintenance. This is a high maintenance yard, dude. And then, as if all this and this ain't enough, you got all that freaking grass to cut too. Dude, and then you got more beds. I mean, I don't know that you could come up with a yard that's got more maintenance stuff on here. This is not a maintenance friendly yard, y'all. So it's just not, man. And then on top of all that, it's a lot of grass to cut. So if you are Johnny homeowner, right, and you want to do your own yard, I get it. Cool. But if you're trying to do a property like this with a homeowner mower, you're gonna have a hard time. See, look at all this. Going back down the other side. See, if I was him, I'd pull all this shit out, man. I would. I'd make it where a lawnmower can get, you know, right up next to the house. I would. These crepe myrtles, I'd just cut them off at the ground, and which wouldn't cost a lot. You know, his grandson, he's got a grandson that, you know, probably 25 or so, and his grandson can do some of this stuff just to make it easy to maintain. Because I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm not weed eating none of this. I'm gonna spray it. We don't get paid to weed eat. I mean, if we're cutting this grass over here for $150, look at all the grass. That's about all we gonna do. look, flowers and, you know, all this stuff, this busy stuff. It's like you need just about a full-time gardener over here. You do. You're never gonna get all this under control and it be blooming and pretty, because, well, they don't want to pay what it takes to do all that. And y'all see it, man. I mean, it's bad, you know. Weeds just everywhere, you know. Yeah, I could go in there and weed eat that, but he ain't paying for that. We're already cutting about 3 acres over here for $150. That's cheap, man. That's cheap, you know. The only things that we usually weed eat over here is like right around the outside of this concrete right here and the concrete. But look, I mean, golly, y'all, it's just brutal. And then it goes all the way back to that burn pile back there. So I'm already doing it cheap, you know, already. And it ain't gonna get, I'm not gonna be doing it any cheaper. You can bet that. I'm not gonna be spending, I mean, you could literally, y'all, you could literally spend a freaking hour weed eating over here. You're talking about a cleanup over here. You're not talking about just, you know, hell, I'm gonna run out of spray. Shit. So this is gonna be one of the ones I'm gonna spray, and I ain't gonna make nothing on the spray. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna lose, but I'm not gonna make nothing like what I do on the other properties. Because at the end of the day, I don't have to weed eat this no way. That's not in our agreement for the $150. Our agreement for $150 is to come over here and mow it. That's it. And then he was gonna spray, and then he was gonna have his grandson, you know, do the manicuring. Well, none of that's worked out. He ain't sprayed. The only thing that's consistent is me. Y'all saw what it looks like all around the side. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna quit crying, man. And it doesn't, I mean, at the end of the day, I want the property to look nice, right? Don't you? You know, when you guys do a property, y'all want them to look nice. But the customer is, you know, pretty much tying my hands over here. You know, number one, it's too busy. This is the kind of landscaping that should be on, you know, in front of an apartment complex or something where they got, or a big HOA or something where they got funding to fund the maintenance of all this. He's never going to spend the money it takes to maintain this right here. It's always going to look like this. So, yeah. Nice, big, beautiful house, man, you know. But the grounds are just terrible. And the grass is solid in the front. Looks real good. But man, there ain't no way that I would want to have to, I wouldn't want, this couldn't be my yard. If I bought this house, first thing I would do is I'd come down through here with a bobcat and I'd rip out every freaking bush on the side over here, and all along the back. We're gonna put some low maintenance stuff in here. We're gonna have grass growing up to 2 foot from the house to where we can mow it with a lawnmower. Because 80 years old, 85 years old, you ain't trying to do all that. can't. And then if you don't want to spend no money, well,
Hey guys.
yeah.
So I got done with that one. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. I was talking all that crap about you know, customers don't want to spend no money over here, and wow, I was whining and crying when I was on the mower over there. And I got a little bit of footage I'll show y'all, man. But so he came back, I guess from church or whatever, and he said, "Did you get your check?" And I said, "Oh no, I hadn't got it yet. You know, it was up front, you know, under the mat because he wasn't there." And so then he came out. You know, I was spraying the beds, and I was crying on the mower earlier, you know, before he got back about, man, damn, you need 5 gallons of spray over here to spray the bed. So then he comes out and he says, "Here, man, whop." He said, "That's for all the extra little stuff that you had to do today that I know you normally don't do." And the, you know, the spray. He had already paid me the $150 for the yard, and that's no weed eating, and then $30 on the spray, and then he gave me this. Don't get no better than that, man. You know, I mean, that's a big deal, right? Not only is it nice to get it, but it's nice to know that the customer appreciates you, and made me feel a little bad about all the stuff I was talking about when I was on the mower out there. But this is a good karma. And quick story. So yesterday afternoon I was home, and it was probably around 5 o'clock or so. I get a knock at the door. I thought it was, you know, I'm thinking Amazon dropped a package and they just ring the doorbell. I don't like for them to do that, but they do that sometimes. So I go to the door, and there's an Amazon girl out there. And I said, "Yeah?" And she says, "I wanted to tell you that I backed into your mailbox." I'm like, "What?" I said, "Oh, you for real?" And I didn't get angry or nothing. I was like, you know, because I know Amazon will pay for it. They paid for that one when the other driver backed into it. They paid $400. So I go out there, and I'm talking to her, you know, and she's taking pictures of it to send to her boss and everything. And she said, "Well, you'll have to call this number. I'm gonna send the pictures to my boss." And I said, "You're not gonna lose your job over this, are you?" And she says, "Oh, yeah, I don't know." You know, she said, "This is the first day I've been in this big truck. You know, she'd been driving one of the Sprinter vans or whatever." And I said, "Well, you know," and the mailbox wasn't knocked all the way over or nothing. It busted the wood, you know, but it was still standing. Okay, didn't look good, but it's still standing. So I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Look, if you're gonna, I said, I don't want you to lose your job behind this, you know, because, you know, jobs are hard to find and good employees are hard to get, and I understand all that, right?" She said, "Oh, no, well, it is what it is. If they fire me over that, then, you know, I guess it just wasn't meant to be." And so I thought for a second, you know, as she was taking pictures, and I'm looking at it too, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, what's it going to take for me to fix this, man? Not a big deal, you know, I'll fix it. You know, I don't need to, you know, drag her, because in order for me to get Amazon to pay for it, I got to drag her, you know. I got to take video, or I got to take pictures, and you know, so, and I didn't want to do that, man, you know. And she was shocked when I told her. She almost started crying when I told her. I said, "Look, I'm not gonna worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't delete those pictures. Don't send them to your boss. Don't tell them anything, and just, you know, be careful moving forward, right? I don't want you to potentially lose your job, right?" That's what I told her. She was just, I mean, she was extremely upset in the first place by just, you know, the mere fact that she hit the mailbox. But she was gracious enough to come to the door, because I would have never known. I would have saw it, then I would have had to go back and look on my cameras, and if you know, I don't know, I might not have ever did that. So Yeah. So then it's funny that I do something like that, and at the end of the day, a customer that I would never think in a million freaking years y'all would give me a $100 bill, not even a $10 bill, because he's kind of cheap. And for that customer to turn around and give me $100, see, I believe in karma. Do you? I do, big time. And you know, I could have, you know, gotten another $400 for a new mailbox, but that lady might have lost her job behind that too, and I didn't want to, you know, conscious of those things. I am. Now I know a lot of people are not, but I'm very conscious of all of that. So I just want to share that with you guys, and it's you know, God is good, man. What can I say?